The soft hum of the restaurant continued around them, but inside their corner booth, the world had narrowed down again to just 2 people and a table full of half-finished dishes. Jungkook leaned back slightly this time, one arm resting loosely on the edge of the seat, watching Taehyung with an expression that was somewhere between disbelief and quiet acceptance. Taehyung, on the other hand, looked entirely unbothered, like he had decided a long time ago that tonight's mission was simply to make sure Jungkook did nothing but exist comfortably. "You're still doing that thing," Jungkook said after a pause. Taehyung didn't look up from the plate he was carefully selecting from. "What thing?" "I'm secretly a caregiver disguised as a person on a dinner date, thing." Taehyung finally glanced up, eyes calm. "That's a very long description. But accurate. I prefer, thoughtful." Jungkook let out a short laugh, shaking his head slightly. "You're unbelievable." Instead of responding, Taehyung picked up another bite and held it out again like it was the most natural thing in the world. Jungkook hesitated this time, not because he didn't want it, but because he was watching Taehyung's face more than the food. There was something steady there. Not playful now, not teasing, just present. Jungkook sighed softly. "You really don't get red of doing everything for other people, do you?" Taehyung paused for half a second, then gently tilted the bite closer. "I'm not doing everything for everyone. That's not what I meant." A small silence followed. Then Taehyung said, quieter, "I know." And Jungkook opened his mouth this time without further argument. The moment passed naturally, but something about it lingered longer than the bite itself. Jungkook chewed slowly, eyes drifting to the side as if thinking about something he wasn't ready to say out loud. Taehyung noticed, of course he did, but he didn't push. Instead, he simply pushed the drink closer to Jungkook's side of the table. "Hydration too," he said lightly. Jungkook rolled his eyes. "Now you're my manager." "I'm upgrading." "Downgrading," Jungkook corrected. Taehyung smiled faintly. That soft curve of lips that never fully turned into a grin but always felt warmer than one. "You're enjoying this too much to complain properly." "I am complaining properly." "No. You're performing complaining." That made Jungkook laugh again, this time more openly, shoulders loosening as he reached for his glass. He took a sip, then set it down carefully. Outside, faint city lights flickered through the restaurant window, reflecting softly against the glass. The night felt deeper now, quieter, like it had settled into itself. Jungkook's gaze drifted toward the window for a moment. "Do you ever think about how weird this is?" Taehyung leaned back slightly. "Which part?" "All of it," Jungkook said. "Us. This. Sitting here like normal people." Taehyung considered that for a moment. His eyes didn't leave Jungkook. "It's not weird." Jungkook raised an eyebrow. "You say that about everything that is, in fact, weird." "That's because I don't think it is." Jungkook studied him for a second. "You're impossible to argue with." "I know." There was a pause again, but this one felt softer. Then Taehyung reached forward and adjusted the plate slightly closer to Jungkook without thinking. Like even the smallest distance between them was something he didn't like leaving unattended. Jungkook noticed, of course. He always noticed. "You're doing it again," he said. "Doing what?" "The hovering." Taehyung blinked. "I'm not hovering. You moved my plate 2 centimeters. It looked lonely." Jungkook stared at him for a moment, then shook his head slowly. "You're insane." Taehyung nodded without hesitation. "But you're eating." That earned another laugh, quieter this time, more fond than amused. Jungkook picked up his chopsticks again, this time on his own. Selecting a piece from the plate Taehyung had been so carefully managing. He ate it, then glanced up. Taehyung was already watching him. "You're not even subtle about it," Jungkook said. "Subtlety is overrated." "That's not true. It is for this situation." Jungkook sighed again, but there was no real annoyance in it. Just familiarity. Comfort. He leaned forward slightly this time, resting his forearm on the table. "You know what fans would say if they saw you like this." Taehyung tilted his head. "What would they say?" "That you're being suspiciously domestic." Taehyung considered this seriously for a moment. "I don't see the problem." "There is no problem. That's the problem." That made Taehyung laugh quietly, the sound soft enough that it barely disturbed the calm atmosphere around them. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Jungkook reached for a piece of food himself, held it out toward Taehyung instead. Taehyung blinked once. "What's this?" "You've been feeding me." Jungkook said simply. Now it's your turn. A small shift happened in Taehyung's expression, barely visible, but there. Something like surprise, softened immediately into warmth. You don't have to. I know. A pause. Then Taehyung leaned forward slightly and accepted the bite. Jungkook watched him closely as he ate, as if measuring something in the moment that didn't have words attached to it. Better? Jungkook asked. Taehyung nodded once. Yes. Good. And just like that, the dynamic shifted, not broken, not reversed, just balanced differently. Less one-sided, more shared. The kind of adjustment that didn't need discussion because